Hello Flickering Myth family and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ and buckle up because we have quite the video ahead of us. In lieu of doing a traditional review for this movie, I want to look at this masterpiece of cringe, but I want to break down each one of these characters, dive into what the hell Todd Haynes has done with this movie. Oh my goodness, we have a lot to get into, so join us as I do a video essay breaking down this masterpiece of cringe that's called May December. If you have not seen this movie yet, stop what you're doing, pause this video, come back to it though, and go watch May December on Netflix, because I have not seen a movie that has challenged me as a viewer as much as this one. I've had the fortune of seeing this 3 separate times. I saw it once at a press screening, I was able to go with Netflix to see the LA premiere, and I just watched it on my own as it dropped on Netflix last night. What a movie, what a film, what a delivery of acting, what a crazy story by Sammy Birch. I mean, this script is so smart. Director Todd Haynes mixing melodrama, camp, and his usual very realistic, very raw take on humans. Wow, this movie just is an experience, but it is also a bit hard to watch. Why? The subject matter is not easy, and I have seen some people online already getting the pitchforks, lighting their, fire, and getting ready to burn down Netflix and Todd Haynes for their audacity to do this. I'm going to address some of the controversy first, and then we're going to get into this video where I will be looking at each one of the characters, looking at the cringeness of them, but also looking at their journeys they go through and how challenging it is for each character, how I love and hate all of them except for Joe, like Charles Melton, the saint that he is in this movie. But I want to look at the controversy. So this movie deals with a woman who she says he seduces her, but seduces a young kid and ends up having a baby by him. She goes to jail, and they spend their, adult life together as trying to figure out what the hell to do after the repercussions of what she did. This is kind of loosely inspired by a true story where a woman was sleeping with one of her students. The same story happened. She had a baby, she went to jail, all of that unfolded, but the twist that May December adds to it is we have an actress played by Natalie Portman. We have her kind of going to Grace and Joe's house and kind of investigating them because she wants to play Gracie in a movie, so she wants to get the true story. She wants to get the rawness out of this. That is crazy, and this movie does not take time to condemn what Gracie did. It's a very objective view. It's very let me just sit back and watch this. Why? Because we as the audience, we know how to feel. We know what the filmmakers should feel like. I spoke with Todd Haynes. You can see my interview up there, and I've also spoke with Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman. Check out those interviews as well. And they all seem to acknowledge that these are not great people, but no one believes themselves to be a bad person. So this movie definitely lets these characters exist how they would, and it's up to us to judge them. If you don't think Todd Haynes is condemning these people enough, that is on you, because I watched this movie and I said, wow, you presented characters and I'm allowed to feel a certain way about each and every one of them. I love movies that don't handhold stuff. This movie is not telling you how to feel, one, because you should know how to feel already. This subject is gross, but it is also layered. Joe's character, he doesn't feel like he was taken advantage of, or does he? He ends up going through a journey throughout this movie, and Gracie's character, she believes her own weird truth, and Elizabeth, she's just this chaotic ball of fire who comes in and shakes up their life. So each one has their faults, each one has layers to them, and it's up to you as the viewer to figure out how you feel. If you don't, hate Gracie, you don't hate Gracie. If you think she's a gross pedo, then you feel that way. Again, you are allowed to feel it, and I don't think it's the filmmaker's duty to put condemnation on these people. As a curator, I saw that in the American Fiction movie this year. As a curator, you have to kind of be a bit unbiased when you make these people, because you really want these characters to go on a journey, and you want to be able to feel them out as they grow as characters, and not put your own kind of personal feelings on them. So it's hard, as filmmakers. I don't think this was their job to make it isn't Gracie bad? Look how bad she is. Isn't she bad for 2 hours? I didn't need that, because one, I know how to feel. again, it's on you as a viewer. This movie is challenging though, and if you don't like it, if you find it triggering, I definitely understand it. It's a hard to watch movie. It made me feel things, but it also made me laugh. It made me get emotional. It made me feel a lot of things, and I think that's why May December is so powerful. There's a lot in here. Yes, this could be like a powder keg and blow up to be something crazier than it ever even wanted to be, but at the center of it, I think it's a great film with great acting and a story that really makes you think. You have to start this movie off by talking about Elizabeth, Natalie Portman's amazing character. Whoa, Elizabeth is quite the challenging figure in this movie. One, because she is supposed to be this very, like, neutral character. She's supposed to be an actress coming in to observe the life, but some actors are very invasive with their research. I spoke about that with Natalie Portman, if she ever felt any connections with Elizabeth, and she said, no, God, no, this woman has no ethical boundaries, and she doesn't. She doesn't understand what she's doing is not that great. Yeah, she thinks she's just researching a role, but she's prying in people's personal life, digging up emotions that some people may have buried forever, or some people, it might be so raw for them still. And then also, I mean, she's so chaotic, like that scene at the school where she's speaking to the drama class, and she's getting detailed about certain things that I don't think these younger people were ready to hear about. You see Elizabeth just kind of walk where she wants to walk, do what she wants to do, with almost no kind of care for the other people around her. She wants what she wants, and that's to get research for this character. And I mean, when she starts following Gracie and like copying her, the hair changes, the vibes change, you start realizing that this is almost a horror movie, watching her morph into this other woman. And it's disgusting, it's weird, it makes me feel things, but I like Elizabeth's character because I find her to be, I don't know, she's chaotic, but she's also a fun chaos because she is doing what she wants to do, but she's not really hurting anybody. Joe and Gracie are already a hot mess before she entered there. It's one of those things when you would call her a home wrecker. Baby, that home was already wrecked before she even stepped in that neighborhood. So I'm not going to blame her for anything, but what she does do is gross, and that infamous line of, "This is what grown-ups do." Ugh. Oh, that says so much to Joe's character. We'll get into that near the end of this video, but oh my God, she is a cold, almost bitter human being, because again, she's been working, she's famous. How famous? A question I've had is, how famous do y'all think the Elizabeth character is? Is she like Sarah Michelle Gellar famous? Lena Headey famous? Where is her level of fame? Like, where would you put Elizabeth in the pantheon of real-life actresses? She's not definitely an A-lister like Natalie Portman, a movie star. So Elizabeth's a complicated character. She walks into this town where she's very, vaguely recognized. She's not like the biggest thing ever. Everyone's not stopping making up lines to get her autograph, but people are recognizing her. So she's kind of coming into this town using this vibes and stealing the energy, it feels like, and she's just so chaotic, and the way it seems to be, she doesn't like Gracie's character, but she wants to absorb so much from her. It's complex. Elizabeth is a complex character, I think even more so than Gracie, who I find to be a villain, but I find Elizabeth to be very not great, but also at the same time, I understood what she was attempting to do. She just went about it a pretty gross, disgusting, and shocking route. That scene with her and Joe at the end, flabbergasted. It said so much about Joe's character, it said so much about her character. Oh my goodness. And that scene where she's like, that he's not sexy enough, speaking about young actors to star in the movie, and I understood what she meant, but also I maybe didn't. Oh my God, Elizabeth's character is the one who made me cringe the most. Never mind, Gracie does, because Gracie is complicated as all get out. Julianne Moore does her damn thing in this movie. I love Natalie Portman and I love Charles Melton, but Julianne Moore's Gracie is a crazy, complicated, complex, almost disgusting character. The gaslighting she does, especially towards the end in that big final argument, the way I feel like she's going to shoot people at all times. My first viewing, I was left a little unsatisfied by this movie because when she's at the end hunting, I'm like, ooh, she's going to be shooting people up. Oh, the big crazy ending. That's not what Todd Haynes does. That's not what Sammy Birch wrote into this script. But I was kind of imagining this script in this movie going to new heights. But that's what I love about it, is it's real. This isn't going to be a character who just kills everybody. No, she's just going to quietly seethe and be passive aggressive and be the disgusting mother she is, the disgusting wife that she is. When she talked about the shoulders, the arms, oh, you're so brave for showing your arms. Everyone in my audience, the two times I've seen it with a wide audience, cringed at that scene. It's heartbreaking. The way she speaks to her kids, the scale joke that is, passed between the two daughters. Wow. Gracie is a character. I mean, this is just the present day stuff, let alone seducing a young child and then kind of going about her life and saying that, we were in much different places. He was much more advanced than me. I only slept with one person. He had many girls. I'm like, he was like 13, 14. What are you talking about, you sicko? Like, Gracie's character, but that's what I love because, yes, she's bad, but I loved watching her be bad. It's one of these characters that I don't necessarily have to agree with anything she does, but I loved watching it. Julianne Moore brings so much life to this character, so much personality, so much energy that you feel like Gracie is a real person, down to the crazy lisp that I thought was going in and out, but it seems to be there the whole movie, down to her like very manic episodes, down to that moment where she's like, I can still smell the charcoal, and he's like, girl, it's smoke. Oh, she's just a weird, gross person, but also at the same time, I feel like maybe her growth was stunted too. Was the story about her brothers real? Was she just lying about it? What is up with her character? What is going on with it? What did you guys think of Gracie? She's the most hard to talk about, one, because she's the most controversial figure in this film. What did you guys think? Did you think she was, stuff happened to her when she was younger, which then kind of breeds the idea that these people will end up continuously, that cycle going on? Do you think she was just making that up because she's, just doing, or her family was that one weird brother? That brother character. What is going on there? So yeah, there's a lot going on here, a lot of characters, a lot of pieces moving, and I love Gracie and I love Elizabeth, but the centerpiece to me of this movie is Joe. Charles Melton, oh my goodness. I've loved this man since Riverdale, and I thought he was going to be a great actor, but wow, seeing him in this movie, this balance of playing a person who's never been able to be an adult, who's still stuck in he's like a grown man, but there's a 14-year-old boy who was stunted in that body still, and the way he moves, the way he acts, the way he does things, like when he washes himself off to get back into bed, the way he performs while having adult time, it feels so childlike. It feels like he never had that moment to be a kid and then to grow up as he should have. He was instantly thrusted into adulthood with a court case, with a baby, with a soon-to-be wife. He never had that moment to really grow, and you feel that. The moments where he's smoking with his son for the first time and he's stoned out of his mind, and you realize he's never really got to do that, let me get high and sneak it from my parents thing. He never was able to do that. He was too busy sneaking around with an older woman who was taking advantage of him. It's harsh. The scene that breaks me the most with Joe's character, he's the least cringe, even when he's trying to text other girls and raise his butterflies and hooking up with other people. The moment he's so good, the moment that really broke my heart was that scene where he's at graduation and he's watching his son get to have the freedom that he never had. He feels so trapped in this life. Oh my God, Charles Melton's acting in this moment. He is a supporting actor that we all need on our ballots this year. He's an actor we all need to be casting in things for a long time. The pain he has, the layers to him, it's such a beautiful, complex role, and I think Charles Melton does so much with Joe's character. You feel him, even again, when he's seeking love in other places than his wife. You don't condemn him for cheating. You're like, baby, get out of what you're in. Like, it's hard. And the same thing is, I don't love Elizabeth and how she speaks to Joe, but when she's just like, you're still young, baby, get out of here. You have a life to live, especially that your kids are out now going to college. Go, run. And I want that for him so bad, and you want that for him, and you feel for this character so much, and you want him to just have a good life. And I love that Sammy's script and Todd's directing and Charles's acting all came together for such a powerhouse performance. I call this the year of pathetic men, with things like Fair Play and Killers of the Flower Moon, but boy, to see this man who I would almost label pathetic at the same time, but you don't want that for him. You know that he deserves better. You seek, oh, I love it. It's such a complex character. He's the least cringe out of all of it, even though he's so socially awkward, very much a kid in an adult body. But boy, I just love Charles Melton in this movie, and I love the character of Joe. To me, one of the most interesting, the most heartfelt character I've seen in movies all year. So that was my look at May December and its three main characters and this cringeful masterpiece that they all go on. God, I love this movie. I saw it once. I love the score. I had fun with the campiness. I saw it again and I was just like, there's more to this movie. The third time, It's to me just such a powerful, well made, well written, well directed, well acted movie that deserves all the attention it's getting. What did you guys think of this movie? What do you guys think of this video? Share your thoughts down in the comments below. If you've seen this movie and you liked it and you hated it, I want to know your thoughts. I also want to know if you haven't seen this movie and you just watched me break this down, what the hell do you think of it? What are your feelings? Share them all down right down there. Subscribe, thumbs up, all that jazz, and let's talk about May December and all its wackiness right down there.